Thanks for joining Arirang's live coverage of President Yoon Suk-yeol's public policy dialogue. Today's town hall meeting marks the 27th of its kind since they were first launched this January. This public policy dialogue is being held in Jeollabuk-do province following the last session in late June, which was at Yeongnam University in Gyeongsang-buk-do province. The meeting is scheduled to begin soon, but before we head over there, I'd first like to direct some questions to Arirang's top office correspondent, Kim Do-yeon, who joins us in the studio. Do-yeon, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
All right, Do-yeon, let's begin with the latest. So, the top office published a photo essay summing up Yoon's policy discussion so far. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that's right. The photo essay is titled "A Letter from the President Has Arrived." It consists of 18 chapters, and the content is based on Yoon's policy dialogue so far as he traveled across the country. There are pictures of him and others like high-ranking officials or businessmen that have joined him in these dialogues, meeting citizens as they travel, as they go to different regions in the country. There are two things that he highlights in the preface of the book. That he got the idea from former President Park Chung-hee as he held meetings himself on export strategies when he was the president. Now, we know while the former president was an autocratic ruler, he does get the credit for achieving the fast economic boom in South Korea in its history. So he learned from these meetings that he held with relevant officials, and he went through the records of these meetings to learn what he can do to boost the nation's economy and to shape policies that are more relevant to people. So that's how these policy discussions started, according to his preface. Also, he does remind everyone that while a lot of times people will only focus on his opening remarks, there are citizens, high-ranking officials, or even working-level government employees that are participating in these discussions that make up this whole public policy dialogue. So he wanted to kind of shine light on those participants as well in the preface. Yeah.
I see. Do-yeon, you just told me how the whole thing began, but let's roll back the clock a little bit more. As we know, it was a replacement for the beginning of the year briefings by the ministries. Now there have been 26 of them, if I'm correct. Can you tell us more about these?
That's right. Typically, the administration receives briefings in the beginning of the year by each ministry on what their objectives are for the new year. But it changed this year, as the top office said, these ministry-based briefings will now turn into topic-based discussions, meaning they will be based on a specific topic and have relevant ministries participating in these dialogues, rather than each ministry just having to list what they're going to do. So one of the reasons for this is that ministries can work together on specific projects. And as President Yoon says, to bring down the barriers between the government agencies. It also allows citizens to pitch in terms of policy shaping. And there have been middle school students to senior citizens that had the chance to talk to the president during these dialogues directly. So that was the main change of these briefings.
All right, I see. Well, now we know there have been dozens. So let's review what was said by the President Yoon Suk-yeol during the last one, which was, as far as I know, it was held in Gyeongsang-buk-do province. What were the key takeaways from the meeting?
So many times the discussions are based on topics, but some of them are based on regions. So last one was focused on Gyeongsang-buk-do province and the city of Daegu. The region has been key in South Korea's manufacturing industry. So throughout the history, the region was known to have provided the foundation for exports, and the economic boom kind of stemmed from that region. But now much of that infrastructure is outdated, and the conventional manufacturing industry has been not doing so well. So President Yoon, as he was there, vowed to support the region to get back on its feet. The region will host an ecosystem for nuclear power plant production, and with South Korea aiming to export more in small modular reactors going forward, which is a new technology that is simplified way of providing nuclear energy. So that's something that he vowed the region will have going forward. He also said he will create a highway connecting two ports by Pohang City, the nation's steel mill city.
All right, so that's what President Yoon Suk-yeol vowed during the last session. Overall, what was some key policies that you thought were so important that stem from the policy discussion so far?
Right, there are a lot, of course, as we talked about. There's 26 of them. But I would say the biggest highlights were ones that allowed policies to be made fast, because we're talking about people there as in the ministers as well as officials that are at the working level. So they were all at the same page when certain things were brought up. For example, during a dialogue on small business owners, a restaurant owner said to President directly, he complained that businesses are suspended for serving alcohols to minors, despite them being fooled by fake IDs and other methods. And underage kids are taking advantage of it, sort of blackmailing these restaurant owners that it was their fault. So when President Yoon heard this, he asked for something to be done right away. And of course, within 3 hours of the dialogue, a new administrative order was given so that in cases like these, the business suspensions were not given, right? So he also touched on 4 main reformations that we know of: the medical, education, pension, and labor. So we know from these dialogues what his kind of thinking and what the ministers or the officials that are in charge of these reformations are thinking. So, and these are all broadcast live, right? So the citizens also there could pitch in what they think and what they find to be most important at the moment.
All right, thank you, Doyen, for sharing us what this whole public policy dialogue is all about. For those who are just tuning in, we are watching Arirang's live coverage of President Yoon Suk-yeol's public policy dialogue. Today's discussion is the 27th of its kind since after they were first launched in January. The last session was held at Yeongnam University in Gyeongsang-Buk-do province late last month, where he vowed to transform the region into a hub for small modular reactors and clean hydrogen. For those who might be unfamiliar with these town hall meetings, well, it seems the town hall meeting is about to begin. So why don't we head to the scene right away right now?
그럼 먼저
First of all, we will hold our allegiance to the flag. Please stand up in front of the flag, please.
굳게 대하여
Pledge your allegiance to the flag.
바로
At ease.
자리에 착석해 주시기
Please
바랍니다.
take your seats.
그럼 지금부터 27번째
From now on, we will begin the
국민과 함께하는
27th Public Policy Dialogue.
먼저 대통령님
First of all,
모두 말씀이 있겠습니다.
the President will give a keynote speech.
전북 특별자치도민 여러분,
Ladies and gentlemen, it is very nice to meet you all here. It is the 27th Public Policy Dialogue, and this is all about opening a new era for West Coast, and the theme is West Coast Economic Forum based at the Jeollabuk-do province. I'm great to have this time with you. So I have been traveling nationwide and having these public policy dialogues, and this is a time which I enjoy the most and which I feel the most gratitude about. So this is very interesting for me. So I hope that you will not be limited to the time limitations and will be able to freely discuss what you would like to discuss, and we will listen carefully to your opinions and reflect this to our policies going forward. Yesterday night, I have received some great news from Czech Republic. In Czech, we have won becoming in the final list for building a nuclear reactor in Czech. From March next year, if the actual contract is pushed forward, the construction cost will be 24 trillion won. In 2020, after the bidding the UAE nuclear reactor, this is the second one, and the cost is much more higher than the previous one. And moreover, in nuclear power reactors in European countries has become higher possibility for us. So this is all the more meaningful. So the nuclear power plant industry was about on the verge of collapsing previously. However, we have overcome the challenges, and following the global trend, we have recovered the nuclear reactor industry, and this has also boosted the economy and the region as well, and will be able to benefit from such. Global nuclear reactor industry is about, I believe, 1,000 trillion won. So this is an estimated amount from the U.S. commerce industry, and actually bidding this contract is not just about commercial, but it is a strategic move between two countries, and cooperative relationship is also a critical manner. And therefore, from now on, I will continue to become a bridgehead for heading and revitalizing the nuclear reactor industry, so that this will boost employment and become a stepping stone for us to revitalize our economy, and the government will have full support on this. So there are these happy moments, but unfortunately we have been seeing some heavy rain for the past few days, and I would like to express my condolences to all the damages inflicted from this heavy flood, and I would like to express my heartfelt condolences for everyone, so that everyone and provide as much support as possible so everyone can go back to their normal lives. So Jeollabuk region has a lot of growth potentials. So during a period when Korea was having a difficult time, it has revitalized the food innovation and is a granary area. So this region, the Jeollabuk region, is waiting for a new role. The Jeollabuk area is trying to boost secondary batteries and state-of-the-art technology, including bioindustry, and we have a lot of expectations for this. And also, the Jeollabuk region is the home for a cultural heritage as well, and it will become a hub for the new cultural zone. So I have actually visited the Jeollabuk area for 6 times since I was running for president, and I have my affection towards this region. In February this year, with the event of the Jeollabuk Special Governing Province, it will become a hub for global bioindustry. And through these discussions, I would like to share the dreams we have for Jeollabuk area and to come up with many measures to grow this region. And for the boost of the Jeollabuk region, I have envisioned 3 words.
첫 번째는
The first
첨단,
one is cutting
번째는
edge,
생명,
the second word is bio, and the
문화.
third word is culture.
전북을 대한민국
So
첨단
Jeollabuk,
산업의
to make
강력한
this a strong
교두보로
basehold
키워야
and strong bridgehead for
정부는
the state-of-the-art
새만금
technology in Korea,
단지를
I will
미래
provide full support,
신산업의
and the
거점으로
새만금
만들기 위해
project will
투자
become
진흥기구와
a
2차전지
hub
특화단지로
for
지정하고
and
기업 중심
for
정책을
state-of-the-art technology and
펼쳐왔습니다.
secondary batteries, and we
그
have
결과
invited
우리
companies,
정부
and as a
출범 이후
result,
2년
ever
동안
since the advent of
10조
the
2천억
unit
원의
our
민간
administration,
투자를
we have been
유치했습니다.
able to attract
이것은
more than 10
2013년
trillion won of
새만금
private
개발청이
investment,
설립된
and
이후
this is
9년
the
동안
largest amount in
유치한
9
투자
years
금액의
since the
6배가
establishment
넘는
of the
규모입니다.
새만금 Center.
새만금뿐만 아니라
But not just the
전북 지역
새만금 project,
전반의
but in
산업
overall
경쟁력을
Jeollabuk
높이는
area, we will
노력을
provide
기울이고 있습니다.
full support in
지난
revitalizing
6월에는
the overall
전주
industry in
정읍을
this area.
포함한
In
전북
last
4개
year,
지역을
in 4 areas,
탄소
including
융복함,
Jeollabuk, will become a
모빌리티,
hydrogen
동물의약품과
convergence,
건강
mobility,
기능성
and
식품
health
기회발전
dietary
특구로
supplements
지정한 바 있습니다.
will become
앞으로
the
전북이
main
직접
items in
발굴하고
Jeollabuk and will become a
설계한
specialized zone
미래
for this.
혁신 산업을
And we will also
중앙정부는
boost
적극 지원할
the future innovative
전주의
industries for
조성
Jeollabuk
중인
areas. And the
2,400억
Jeollabuk
원
is trying to
규모의
create a
탄소 소재 국가 산단을
24,000
27년까지 완공할 것입니다.
1 trillion
또
won for
28년까지 추가로
building
1,000억
a
원을
hydrogen
투입해서
commercial vehicle
탄소 부품과
reliability verification
응용기술
center.
개발의
And we will
중심지로
also
육성할 것입니다.
boost the
또
region to
완주에
become a
계획
center
중인
for R&D
수소
in the
상용차
state-of-the-art
산업별
area,
구축을
and also
빠른 속도로
provide a
추진할
hydrogen specialized national industry complex in a
지난해
very
3월
fast manner.
완주가
In March
국가산단
last year,
후보지로 선정된 만큼
the area has been
2030년까지
designated as
2,500억
a
원을 투입해서
national
수소
food
특화
cluster phase,
국가산단을
as well as
조성하고
this hydrogen
26년까지
specialized
신뢰성
area. So by
검증센터와 같은
2026, we will provide
확충해서
infrastructure
수소
such as
상용차 혁신
to
생태계를
provide
구축할 것입니다.
some reliability verification center
이러한
for
미래
hydrogen
첨단
vehicles.
산업을 이끌어갈
So such
연구
high
인력
state-of-the-art
양성과
technology
R&D
requires
생태계
R&D environment as well as high talented
2차
individuals,
전지
and we will
특화
provide
단지의
support for
발전과
this as
혁신을
well. And also
견인할
in order to
박사급의
support
고급 인력
the
양성을
secondary
지원하고
battery development, we will provide
29년까지
support for
700억 원을
skilled
투입해서
people, including
전주,
those with master's and doctorate
정읍에
degree,
걸친
and we will try to provide more support to places in Jeonju, Jeongup, and other areas, so that it will become the hub of bio
또한
and
군산
agricultural
지역을
industry.
중심으로
And
무인
centered
잠수정,
on
무인
Gunsan
관측
area, we will provide
해양
support
무인
for
장비
marine
실증 실험에
unmanned device
400억 원을 지원해서
industry, and this will
전북을
be given
첨단 해양
400 million
장비의
Korean
연구개발
won of
거점으로
support, and will
키우겠습니다.
become the hub of R&D center for
이 다음은
unmanned submersible and other unmanned devices.
전북을
Next is about bio.
생명
We will
산업의
provide the
전진기지로
support so that Jeonju will become the hub
글로벌
of bio
공급망
industry.
붕괴로
Due to
식량
the collapse
안보의
of the global
중요성이
supply
나날이 커지고
chain,
있습니다.
the food security, its
첨단
importance has been
기술과
growing. And by
농업이
combining the
새로운
agriculture
미래
with state-of-the-art
산업으로 각광받고
technology, agriculture
제가
is becoming
우리
the highlight of
스마트
the
농업에
technology
종사하는
going forward.
청년
So I
세대들과
actually met with some youth who live in, who work in the smart farm industry, and whenever I travel with them, I listen to a lot of opinions and see that they have actually signed many MOUs and contracts.
스마트 농업이
So smart farm and smart agriculture
농산물을 수입만 하는
is not just about importing food, and countries in the Middle Eastern countries are also trying to learn about these smart farms. So this is becoming a high value added industry because these countries are also wanting to invest in this. So Jeollabuk, together with 새만금 and smart farm industry and district, has the most concrete agricultural foundation. So it is the best place for developing agriculture. In 2021, what was constructed was a Kimje Smart Farm Innovation Valley, and this includes 200 youth who are growing the smart farm industry. In Iksan National Food Cluster, we have about 124 companies who are residing there, and it is connecting food industry and providing innovative projects. So these kind of innovative agricultural models will be grow the Jeollabuk area as the hub of the agriculture industry. And in order to support youth to actually participate in such innovation, we will provide support up to 4 million Korean won so that people will be able to join and participate in this area. And also we will support the future promising industries such as green smart farms, and the National Food Cluster Phase 2 will be established. The first phase has already been completed, so we will designate the Phase 2 as fast as we can so that Jeollabuk agriculture industry will see more private support and investment, and this will be supported by the central government. So for Saemangum to become the forefront of the agricultural innovation, we will provide about 45 million Korean won so that people will be, so that this will be able to become a hub of the smart farm. And the future agriculture industry in connection with the height of the state-of-the-art and culture, this has become a new future industry. And by making experience-based industry zones, the companies will be able to invest in the farmers and the farm and the regional areas, as well as in companies will be able to cooperate together to boost the economy of the region. The last is the culture. So Jeollabuk will become a new forefront of cultural industry in Korea. Jeollabuk, together with the citizens and the government, have provided many outstanding cultural tourism industries, including the Imsil area as well as the Hanok village. By commercializing this, this will provide Jeollabuk's own personalities and traits. And by next year, we will make Jeonju, Gunsan, and Namwon area as the cultural hub, and it will provide a K-culture support center so as to support such investment and provide support the region by providing 18 billion Korean won for this. We will also provide an integrated rehabilitation hospital and establish a sports complex for the youth. And this will be provided by 45 billion Korean won. So by boosting Jeollabuk area with such investment, we will also provide the rehabilitation hospital, and we will insert more than 70 billion Korean won so that it will be completed in 2026. So for Korea to be able to open a true era of the region and to take a leap forward, Jeonju's role is critical. In December last year, the Special Self-Governing Province of Act for Jeollabuk area has been legislated, and we will continue to revise this to support Jeonju. So for Jeollabuk to become a bio-industry hub, and we will provide more support, and we will also provide residing specialized programs for people living in Jeonju area in order to prevent demographic cliff. So we have a lot of citizens and people living in this area here today with us, and the governor for the Jeonju area has a great vision for Jeollabuk area and has been inserting a lot of efforts in opening the area for the region. In order for Jeollabuk to become a forefront and to take a leap forward to opening this area, I would like to ask for your active support and for you to provide more opinions on this. Thank you.
All right, those were the opening remarks by President Yoon Suk-yeol for 27th Public Policy Dialogue, which was held in Jeollabuk-do province. Now, Toyeon, the president just wrapped up his opening remarks. What were the key takeaways? Could you briefly tell us?
Yes, President Yoon, as you saw, is in Jeollabuk-do province, and it's his first public policy dialogue there. So that was the fact that it was the first time was an important factor to this dialogue. As for the specific policies, he's vowed to push the region as the bridge for advanced technologies. He wants to focus on developing an ecosystem for hydrogen cars in the region, foster talents in the battery sector, as well as create a testbed for bioconvergence. Now, this dialogue will go on with local residents participating, so we'll have more when it wraps up.
All right, I see. Doyeon, thank you for your wrap up and thank you for being here with us in the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, that was President Yoon Suk-yeol's 27th Public Policy Dialogue. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our upcoming newscast at 6 p.m. Korea time.